Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about should you freelance or should you try to get a job if you're just starting out? Because a lot of people learning to code are trying to find a job and are frustrated because they're like, I can't get hired. And so they get this big idea is I'm going to go and freelance. Freelancing is very difficult because not only do you need to know how to code, you also need to handle 1,000 other things like how to make proposals, how to find clients, how to collect money from the clients. What are my offerings? And so if you haven't worked in the industry, becoming a freelancer and coding as a freelancer will be very, very difficult. And so to kind of help everybody understand and to see how hard it is to freelance, I am going to do a little tiny experiment where I'm going to make a pretend business. I'm going to try to find clients. I'm going to try to do jobs. And I'm going to kind of tell you what that process is. By the way, I am not going to go freelancing. I'm just going to go through the process of trying to see if I can get clients, which I've done in the past. But for me, if you're a new developer learning to code, please continue to improve your resume, continue to improve your portfolio, practice those interview questions, and try to get the job because that's going to be significantly much easier. But with that being said, today I'm kind of going to share with you if I were to do freelancing, how would I start? And I'm going to kind of showcase my journey and talk about some of the mistakes that I made. So the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out what is your niche, what kind of services you want to offer, how you're going to break into the market, and you want to think about how you're going to market your services. So the first thing you're going to do is to do a proof of concept and try to see if you could get a name of someone who's interested in your business. So you don't even have to have a business yet. You could just make a pretend website, have a pretend service, which could be based on the services that you want to offer, and test the market and see if you're actually able to get a client. And if you can get a client, great. And if you can't, then you're welcome to the world of freelancing, which is very difficult. And so a lot of people also talk about Upwork and other things like that. Upwork is race to the bottom. It's basically you're competing with all of the world where cost of living might be different from where you're living. And so the developers that always charging the cheapest are going to win. I live in US, so something like Upwork doesn't make sense to me. If you live in a different country where cost of living is less, then yes, Upwork is awesome. So I'm going to kind of talk about if I were to start a business, what would I do? And the idea here, I've been working with headless CMSs forever. I've experienced building things with WordPress. I'm familiar with Squarespace and all those other website builders. So my market, it's like headless CMS. And I'm going to first show you the website and then I'm going to show you the mistake that I made. So the first thing is if you're going to have a business, you have to figure out how are you going to get people to know that you have a service. So that's where you have to market yourself. There's so many ways to market yourself. At the beginning, if you're starting out, I would say if you have money to do ads, which is expensive and you're pushing money and you might not get clients, or you could do something through content marketing where you create educational content, you share it, and then you do like a simple call to action where you're like, hey, if you're looking for someone to help you with your project, here's my contact information or give me a call, whatever it is. So I started, and you should start by creating a simple website where you're going to kind of do a proof of concept what your services are. And so I already made a mistake on this website, but we're going to see if we could spot it. So my whole idea, I created a pretend company called My CMS Corner, and I have a website. I also have a YouTube channel, which is going to be used to market the services. So my approach was, how am I going to get clients? I'm going to create educational videos. Then I'm going to take those videos, convert into blog posts. So through blogging and videos, I'm going to create content. Then I'm going to share on all the socials. And the goal is to get your first client. So the first thing I did is obviously set up a website. And I also have a YouTube channel that I created that could be used to kind of promote my content, looking to get clients. So once you have this set up, the biggest mistake here, and I'm going to kind of walk you through the basic website, and then we'll see if you could spot the mistake. And then there's lots of mistakes I'm making, but I just want to showcase and share with you so you know that trying to go into freelancing is super difficult. It will be much easier to get a job. So here I have my basic landing page, content management, demystified, unlock full potential of your content, tailored solution from simple drag and drop interfaces to advanced headless CMSs. So that was like my thought. That's kind of like my service. This is the target market I'm going to go for. And if you go here I have my value proposition, and I have 3. Starting out a company, pretend company again, for sake of you learning and me exploring, I have 3 things as value propositions. And here lies the problem. We'll talk more about it. But my first idea, I'm going to create 3 different tiers. One for super basic websites. So if a small business need a basic website, I'm going to go ahead and set that up for them with Squarespace or WordPress. I'm pretty familiar. So that's going to be one of the offerings that I do. Then the second one, if someone wants something more custom solution, like using a headless CMS with some customization and a custom front end using a framework like Next.js. And then the third offering, I was like, well, if someone needs something more, maybe they could hire me as a consultant. I could help manage their project. And if I need to bring more people on the team, I could do that. So in theory, this sounds like really cool. Like, wow, Paul, you actually have a great business idea. All you have to do now is get clients and deliver the service, which is ludicrous to think that that's easy. It's not, and we'll talk more on that in other videos. But in this video, the biggest mistake that people make is they try to do too much at once. So here I have too many things that I'm trying to do. And so the first thing, what you need to do is identify what is your value proposition. Instead of doing too many things, like I'm going to offer like Squarespace and WordPress, I'm going to build custom websites with Next.js and a headless CMS like Strappy, and do consultation. 3 big things. So the biggest thing, if you're starting out, you want to keep it simple and you want to get to the market as quick as possible. So instead of trying to serve everybody or have different tiers in your plan, what you need to do is figure out the most straightforward one service that you can deliver on, that you could start and create a value proposition that you could start market your services to your clients and iterate on the process. So the biggest mistake in my part, I created 3 services. I'm trying to do too much at once. So the first thing I'm going to do is rethink this, and I'm going to change this to fit more in a more narrow scope, where I'm going to have one service that I'm going to do, one service that I'm going to charge for, and one service that I could do as an individual. I don't have a team. I don't have people I could delegate my work to. So that's something important to keep in mind. So as I was saying, in this services, I'm going to get rid of low-code solution, because that's not the type of work that I want to do. And I'm going to focus on basically creating educational content around solving business problems by using custom front ends and headless CMSs. And I'm going to only focus on this service number 2, which is going to combine where I'm going to create educational content that I'm going to use as marketing to get clients. I'm also probably going to make paid resources. If it was a business, it's not a business. I'm just telling you how to do it. Paid resources. And the next step, if someone is like, you know what, you have great resources, but I don't want to do this myself, I want to hire someone. So then I'm going to be the person to hire. So the idea, market through content marketing with free stuff, then create a paid resource, which is in-depth of helping someone how to get started with a headless CMS of their choice. And finally, if that's too much work for them, you could hire me to build your product. So it's like one more narrow focus on focusing on the headless CMS aspect of it. And so that would be my value proposition. And so what I'm going to do is update this website. And again, it's for all the services, contact me coming soon, is because I'm not taking clients. I'm just using this as an experiment to kind of share how I would think about it. Starting a business or getting a job are 2 different things. And I would say try to get a job first, try to get a job second. And then for every reason, if you feel adventurous and like you want to work really, really hard, harder than most people, start a business. But I'm going to do this as an experiment. And from the things that I learned, I'm just going to share them with you here. And so the first thing for me is to consolidate my offering into one. And that's basically it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create helpful videos that help to walk people through the setup. And I'm going to do a very simple call to action. Either check out my paid course, which I'm not going to make. I'm just sharing my idea. I have a job, so I can't do a business on the side, but I'm going to go through this process as an exercise and tell you what I learned. And if I do get clients, I'm just not going to take them because I don't have time. But I'm going to go through the most important part, which is marketing, creating a value, and showing you how to do it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create educational free content around the type of work that I want to do. Then I'm going to create one course that I'm going to make it paid, which will be like my entry level into my service. And then on top of that, if people like, I don't want to do this myself, can I hire you? That'll be my main service. So that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to market through making a lot of videos on YouTube. And then the videos that I make on YouTube, and I don't have any blog posts here yet, but I'm going to make blog posts here on those topics based on the videos I made. So the idea is not to write blog posts for the sake of writing blog posts. It's just use it to market my video. So I'm going to make my video, then I'm going to summarize it, and I'm going to turn it into a blog post. So that could kind of help my website SEO, because the idea is once you have a website, it does start to become Googleable. For instance, if you go into google.com and you type my CMS corner, and I know this is very specific, my website will come up. And the goal for you is to make sure that you're working on organic SEO through blogging to increase your ranking, which takes time. So combining it through creating YouTube videos that link to your website, your blog posts that link to your YouTube videos, and get indexed by Google will start to slowly generate traffic over time. And again, this is very, very hard, and you're going to have to share that on YouTube, but that's my basic strategy of getting clients. So that's basically the process. With that being said, if you're looking to continue on this path, you need to kind of figure out if you have a service and who is your target audience. So one easy way to start, kind of easy workflow, what I do. For instance, I'm very familiar with front-end development. I'm very familiar with using headless CMSs. So a service, if someone needs a business website or a landing page with a blog, you should be comfortable of building it. So the quick offering and something that I would do to make that process really quickly is to not try to recreate things from scratch. So for instance, here, this is an example of a landing page. And basically what I did is I found a template and I took this template. This happened to be Next.js. Sometimes you'll find templates in HTML, very easy to convert to like a Next.js project. And so I have a template, which looks really nice. For instance, I didn't finish all the areas yet. I have like my dynamic pages. I have my static routes, which I'm going to finish as I built. I just created this starter template to make it easier to get projects started. And so what you should try is find a template, get a template, go from start to finish, creating a template and creating like a useful way for users to be able to manage their data. For instance, for me, I like using headless CMSs. So if I go to cloud, using Strapi Cloud, because I love Strapi. And so I have a project here and I just deployed it. So it's not set up yet. So I'll quickly show you as an example. So the idea of having like a headless CMS, you could see that I have a dashboard here. I have different pages that I could create here. I created a little Q&A that I could add. And we have a homepage that folks could make. And here I have different components that I created, which match components on my front end. For instance, if you take a look here, you see we have a hero component, and here we have this hero component. So the example I'm showing you in Strapi Cloud, it's not hooked up yet, but the idea as a website, for instance, what I want to do is create this website and hand it off to my client. I don't want to be able to manually adding data. This is why I love using like Next.js or Remix or whatever your favorite framework with a headless CMS, because then I'm able to give it to them. I'm able to train them how to use the admin area. And so when they have a deployed project and they want to make some changes, instead of me physically making changes and updating the layout, they're able to manage all of that throughout Strapi. For instance, they could create a hero section, add like a bunch of different information. Then they're like, oh, I need a, video that I have to embed, blah, 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 embed the video. And again, I'm not filling this out, just to kind of showcase here. And based on the blocks, I need a frequently asked questions. Let me add some questions here, blah, 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 blah. Let me save and publish, which I'm not going to because I just want to kind of show you a general example. But basically, the most simplest offering that you could create someone is create a service where you create their website for them. And instead of having to manage the content yourself, you use a headless CMS and you create a wonderful backend for them where the owner of their website could log in and manage their own data. So that could be one offering for you. And I just wanted to throw that out as an example to kind of showcase it and talk a little bit about it. But the point is, if you want my honest truth, should you freelance or should you get a job? Go get a job first. It is significantly much easier to do. Once you have experience in your industry, then you could jump into freelancing. But because I have this YouTube channel, I am going to focus on talking on how to get your first job, about learning to code, things that I'm doing. But I'm also going to talk about this freelancing aspect of it, because a lot of people are also asking about that. And at some point in the future, I do want to create either my own SaaS product or my own little agency. So why not use this time to learn about it? But with that being said, if you're just starting out learning to code, one little tip that I'm going to give you is that you don't have to try to start an agency, but you want to market yourself. So create a little blog where you could blog about things that you're learning, and create a little YouTube channel where you could share the things that you're doing. Hence, this is why I have this YouTube channel, Coding After 30. And as you learn things, go ahead and create content and share it. You'll be surprised of how many people I met on YouTube that led to opportunities. The job that I have now is because of a connection I made through people I left through my interaction on YouTube, which is kind of crazy to say that. But with that being said, I hope you liked this video. I hope it was educational enough. And if you're moving forward, you made this far, you're going to see videos which are going to have more of a proper card, which will have like more professional looking thumbnails. That means it's going to be a video like this, which is more educational, covering a specific topic. If you just see my face and maybe like word, the card is not professional. It's probably me talking about how AI is going to take all lives, jobs, and everything else, which is not true. So the idea is like, do you want to create these like rant videos for fun? And so I'll quickly show you here. If you go search Coding After 30, I'll show you what I mean, because I do like making funky videos and talking about stuff. So I'll quickly show you here as an example. So whenever you see this type of style thumbnail that kind of looks presentable and professional, that's probably something that, you know, is more educational. And if you see like Dorian, this is like, oh, make a face and whatever. If you see me making a stupid face and the thumbnail is just the word like this, that's probably me talking about some topic that's just for fun. Like, are all the coding jobs gonna go away? Why AI sucks, or why AI is the best? So this way you could easily tell, oh, this is just gonna be like a video that's kind of fun and cool, but maybe not educational. But then when you see a video that's, and this is kind of the format that I'm going to start keeping, like, which is just like, hey, this is what we're doing next, JS and Strap AI powered tutorial, 4.5 hours videos. You can share. I just wanted to add this here. I don't care which videos you watch, just if you even watch my content or not, but I just wanted to put that out there just in case, if you're wondering. I'm going to have two types of content. One is going to be like normal video stuff that I want a potential employer to watch. It's very educational, how I present stuff, providing value. Another video is going to be more edutainment, entertainment, where I just talk about a topic like AI and coding jobs and why everything in the world is over and you should probably quit, which is not true. And that's basically it. And that's all I'm going to say for today. And I do have a surprise, which I'm going to share in later videos, about why everybody should network. And I'm going to tell you how I met somebody super awesome that has been blowing up on YouTube lately. And I only met him because of just reaching out to people and saying hello, which is another way for you to make connections to get jobs. So with that being said, I'll see you later in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later.